Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 4th of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the official release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series starring both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back as both Anakin and Kenobi to really fulfill the entire Star Wars fandom at heart. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, here we are, it is the very beginning of April. This is a very important month, not just for us, the fans, but also for Disney and Lucasfilm as companies, as they are going to begin filming the Ahsoka Tano series in just a little under 2 weeks' time, and we also have the Mandalorian Season 3 entering post-production. So there's a lot of things happening at the same exact time within this very month for multiple Star Wars projects out there that's really going to involve John, Dave, and of course George. They're all working hand in hand and really making sure to turn things around for the Star Wars franchise. Now, when we look at, of course, Disney CEO Bob Chapek, right, this is the very guy that is allowing all this to even happen in the first place. He is the guy that is allowing both George, John, and Dave to do their thing with Star Wars, and that is one thing to keep in mind, is that you can just tell that he is an absolutely better CEO than Bob Iger ever will become. He, I think, was probably, superior, Bob Chapek. Where he stands right now, and you compare him to Bob Iger, you can see a vivid difference. But I digress. What's really intriguing has everything to do with Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy and what's been going on over at Lucasfilm between herself and, of course, Bob Chapek. Now, given that we do know that Bob has been making a lot of adjustments over at Lucasfilm, allowing some changes to be made over at the company, not just at the company, but also creative decisions for some of the new Star Wars TV shows that are currently being developed. Now, with that being said, however, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now preparing to make new Star Wars TV shows and movies that will be unveiled at this year's celebration, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have been working on a handful of new plans that are becoming a part of the new universe. However, in a recent interview with Disney CEO Bob Chapek, he went on to talk more about the future of Star Wars, where he went on to state, "While we are very optimistic with the brand's future by the hands of John and Dave, we realize that there are many projects that some fans are against, such as the High Republic, which we want to dial down a bit and keep that at a slower pace to let that evolve and play things out slowly." Now, aside from what Bob Chapek had to say here, and what, of course, Favreau began to actually work on behind the scenes, it's described that Bob Chapek recently canceled multiple High Republic projects, such as a new Star Wars TV series that was greenlit by Kathleen Kennedy some years ago, as well as a handful of books and comics as well, that are now coming to a complete halt, that will leave room open for new projects that will focus on other eras created by John and Dave Filoni. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, Bob Chapek has been on this route for a very long time of figuring out ways to either A, slow down the High Republic material, or just cancel some of that material altogether. And rightfully so. There's a lot of fans out there, including myself, that really aren't too fond of the High Republic content. And if you guys like that, by the way, nothing against you guys at all. I think that everybody has a right to their own opinion. If you guys like the High Republic, please don't even feel any kind of hesitation of talking about how you like it below in the comments. But the High Republic era has something out of place when it comes to Star Wars, in my opinion. There's something about it that just does not feel like Star Wars, and there's a reason behind all of that. Is that a lot of that is, of course, supervised by Kathleen Kennedy, and that's exactly why it doesn't really feel right. So, moving on from all of this, alright, Bob Chapek believes that the High Republic is being developed way too fast, with 2 TV shows already on the way by Kathleen Kennedy. However, those are the only 2 projects that Kathleen Kennedy has control over and will even be doing, and even, of course, Project Vortex got some regulations on the show by Bob Chapek recently. As of now, Kathleen Kennedy will no longer be allowed to create drastic retcons against the prequels, of course, by George Lucas in the Project Vortex series, for the fandom to overall witness. This new regulation by Bob Chapek no longer allows Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland to make more retcons against George Lucas's work either in Project Vortex, which they both were of course set on making significant changes to the Star Wars lore that would have created lots of backlash from the fans and more. So that's another thing, is that Kathleen Kennedy was always on this path, or this, this focus point to create major retcons toward the prequel trilogy, and that's exactly what she's going to be doing with the Acolyte TV series. Thankfully, and I say thankfully, Bob Chapek put a halt to all of that with Project Vortex, at least. So there won't be 2 Star Wars shows that are going to have all these major retcons against the prequels. It's only going to be 1 show so far. But Bob Chapek, knows how the fans think now. I think it took Disney and, of course, Bob Chapek a long time to finally realize how the Star Wars fans operate and exactly how they think and how they perceive the Star Wars franchise. That's exactly why I believe that they are going to nail it with the Kenobi TV series. I think that overall, when you look at the Kenobi show, there's something special about it. They know what the fans want, and they are delivering. They already delayed the show, but they also made it up to fans. They delayed it by 2 days, not a big deal anyway to begin with. But just for doing that, they're giving us 2 episodes in 1 day. That to me is pretty interesting of how they make it up to the fans more lately. But I digress. Now, Bob Chapek currently is also canceling some other High Republic video games and even more projects that were associated with the High Republic and in the pipeline by Disney some time ago with Bob Iger when he was the Disney CEO. Many of those projects, of course greenlit by Kathleen Kennedy, are now coming to a complete end. All of those projects featured characters such as Geo the Rock, Maeve, and even Avar Kriss. Maeve is a character that is set to be played by actress Brie Larson in the Acolyte series, a show that is still poorly, of course, being made and under poor leadership. Currently, however, Disney and Bob Chapek are making sure that High Republic material is going to be kept down to a bare minimum for the fans. So heavily inspired from Star Wars Legends and more for the Star Wars fans by John and Dave is the main focus. Kathleen Kennedy is said to be extremely upset over these major decisions by Bob Chapek by canceling many High Republic-focused projects, and of course is fighting these decisions by Disney. Now, that's another thing that I think a lot of fans need to know right here, right now, is that they are making these calls in response to the lack of interest in the High Republic. In fact, that video game Star Wars Eclipse is already having trouble, which is also a High Republic project. Though I will admit the cinematics looked very good, that project doesn't really look so hot when it comes to production. It's not really moving forward too fast, and they're having some issues in between, and it's not looking likely that it's even going to be made. And if it is going to be made, it's not going to come out till 24, at least. But apart from that, completely unrelated, when we look at everything related to the High Republic TV shows and the movies that are being canceled by Bob Chapek, that to me is a very smart move. Why? A lot of fans really aren't all that familiar with the High Republic. It's best to kind of cement a certain era in there first that's wildly accepted, and then adapt off of that. That's exactly what they need to do, but that's what they tried to do. That's what Bob Iger tried to do with the High Republic, and it's just not working, to say the least. So overall, guys, I would love to hear what each and every one of you have to say about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.